You here with N Sniper. If you're just joining us, we just came over from uh, Dreadnought, which is a team-based space fighter ship in this game where you have different types of ships and you are on a team and you fight each other. Yeah, that's it. Um, so now we're in this is Paragon, where I think this is our third time that we've tried playing this game since the New Dawn update.
hmm
Um, we're originally Legacy players. For those of you that don't know what Legacy is, Legacy was the original map for Paragon when it first came out. What was it, a year ago, Sniper?
about a year ago now.
Yeah, so that was the map was totally different, bigger. Gameplay was a lot slower, I guess, because matches back then would last probably like an hour or so.
Hour and a half,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, if the teams were evenly matched, probably an hour and a half. Um,
hmm
and there was a lot more, I guess, different aspects to it too. I kind of liked it also,
mm
but it was the biggest killer for most people was the game time, right? That was probably your biggest thing, was it?
Without a doubt. I mean, I understand, especially for like a lot of console or like a lot of PC gamers, they're used to MOBAs lasting, an hour, hour and a half or so. But for the casual gamer, you really can't have a game lasting that long. People got other things to do, and not only that, like you want to try and get as many games as you can in while you have time to game. So an hour and a half game really isn't ideal for most people. So one of the biggest changes that they've done recently with these latest updates is they have shortened the game times quite as significantly. Typically games now are lasting, I'd say about 20, 30 minutes on the long end. So that's definitely something that they did improve on. But how Ryu was saying that the Legacy Edition, although they did last a little longer, it did seem like there was a little more depth into the deck building. This is one of those MOBAs where you do have a certain deck, you have certain cards where you help try and customize your character in a way that you want. And it seems like a little bit of that was stripped away. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know how about you feel about it, Ryu.
Yeah, like this new Dawn update. Like I said, we're from the Legacy, and back then, the way they did I guess the customization for your characters, you had a deck of cards, and each deck would be attributed to either two affinities or one affinities, and depending on the character you selected, you can only put cards that that character had the affinity for. So let's say Steel, for example, which is a tank, um, tank, what is it, interrupter kind of crowd control type of tank. His
hmm
affinity originally was order and intellect. So the way they had the deck system is, I think it was a 40 card limit, and you would basically put cards into that deck, to reach up to that 40 card limit. You didn't have to do 40 cards, but when I made the decks, they're usually I'd have like three starter cards, and then as the game progressed and got longer, those cards would get trashed for cards for the better cards, the later game cards.
hmm
But
And
now, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just going off of that, with the older card system, there was a little bit more variety when it came to attack and defenses. Like there was ability defense, there was standard defense, depending on the type of attacks you're receiving. So with a 40 card deck, you had a lot more flexibility. You could answer to what your enemies were doing. So a good example, like I was saying, with Steel is a defensive character. So you want to be able to stack the right type of defense for the right scenario. So obviously, if the enemy team is nothing but melee characters, you could have stacked Steel strictly mainly, melee defense, and that was it. Now I'm pretty sure I think the defenses have all been clustered together, right? It's all just power. There is no ability and physical attacks, or is there still?
Yeah, no, they got rid of, like back in Legacy, they had two types of damage. There was ability damage and physical damage. So that's when you meant by melee and
hmm
like ability. So certain characters, or no, it was physical and energy damage. That's what it was. So
Mhm.
back in Legacy, they had those two type of damages, and they had cards that you could build a defense toward either melee or energy damage. And certain characters only did a certain type of damage. So Steel was a physical type damage character, and another tank, Richter, was an energy type damage character. So those two characters, even though they're both intellect attribute back in the day, they would actually have different cards equipped, and those equipped cards also did different things. So
Mhm.
the cards varied, and they got rid
Mhm.
of that whole system back in the Monolith update, where they brought in this new map, Monolith. Got rid of the whole Legacy map. Um, Monolith is, I think, 20% smaller than the Legacy map, and they got rid of. They had shrines, they had harvesters. What else? They
Mhm.
got rid of a certain travel mode, which is basically if you didn't take damage, you would enter this like sprint mode back in Legacy, but they got rid of that and basically increased everyone's movement speed and made the map smaller to help bring down the time. And that worked for the most part, but
Mhm.
you're left over with a bunch of cards that they converted all the energy and physical damage to power. And then it looks like now with this new Dawn update, they basically wiped everything. They kept the power, they kept the map, um, increased the attack speed, and reduced the damage.
Mhm.
Um,
And I believe they also reduced the cooldown on abilities, correct? So abilities
yeah,
trigger much more frequently.
yeah, and it also another problem I saw remember was mana generation back in Legacy was a lot harder too. That was like
Mhm.
what do you call it?
So.
I don't know. It took forever to get mana. Like I remember, was a space cadet. He was running out of mana like every 3 minutes or whatever.
Mhm.
But this new update, since the monolith, that mana generation was pretty much boosted. But let's go over what they came over with the New Dawn update. So they still have a deck system now, but it's a lot different. They have what it is they have gems now, and they have cards. Before each affinity had about, I'd say, 50 cards, right? Or 100 cards, something. It was a good amount of cards, right?
So it was a good amount of cards per Xfinity.
Yeah. And but now with this new update, you are limited to 3 cards that you can have equipped, and a max amount of cards in your deck of 12. And what they replaced for that other, what is it, 28 cards, is they have gems. And these gems, I guess, make up for that lost amount of 28 cards. So the way you level up now, before you'd collect amber, which is like these little orange globe things that'd be laying on the ground or whatever, and you'd level up and collect that, and then you'd spend points to purchase your cards. Well, now you have gold, and every 1,000 gold you use to spend to buy an attribute point, and there's 3 attributes. I think it was AGI, Vitality, and Intellect, and you would use those to uh, level up your character. And whenever you bought an attribute point, you'd earn a gem towards that certain attribute. And you can get they have these certain slots. It's like slot 1, 7, 13, 19, and 25. And those slots, you would get these specialty gems that you can equip. Like these ones right here, for example. So you have like things like auto health potion, improved killing blows, all that kind of stuff. Where before you didn't have that kind of stuff. You had a card that was like a mana potion that you could activate. So now you have gems. Um,
Hmm.
as far
So,
as
I mean,
yeah, go
I
ahead. What were
mean,
you gonna
most of the
say?
stuff you'll see a little better, like actually during the gameplay. I mean, there's what, 5 Xfinities right now to go through, and then like different types of gems, three different types of gems. So once you start seeing the play style a little more, you'll see how these things kind of come in. Because honestly, it's a little. It seems like there's a lot more to it, but when you actually play the game mode, you're gonna see that you really, especially when it comes to the later, like some of the more powerful gems at the end, you'll see that you really honestly never get that far. The game will be over long before you have any kind of time to like really put into those, unless you're strictly concentrating on one attribute.
Yeah, I think the fastest game I've had on here now is like 12 minutes, and that's
Yeah,
because
that's.
like everyone basically like once the other enemy team got hella boosted,
hmm
and they basically ran over us. So that wasn't that good. But the one thing I kind of like about the New Dawn update is that you can create decks now that can be for any character. So you still have the two attribute thing, but the deck you create can be for any character. So deck, I'm still trying to get used to the whole deck building here, but it's hopefully it gets a little better. Let's hop into a game real quick. Um,
Oh wait, hold on. You need to send me the invite again.
yeah,
Sorry about
I'll send it
that.
again. But give
Party.
me 1 sec. I'll be right back. 'Cause I believe someone is knocking on my door. Okay, are you in the party?
Alright.
Sniper, you in the party?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry
ready
about
that.
that. I'm getting like so many visitors today. Okay, okay. Oh, sweet. Oh, Rice messaged me saying you're nerds, and I told him, no, you're a nerd. Yeah.
She's just jealous because she's not on the stream right now. That's all.
Yeah. Jelly. Alright. Ooh, my new phone case came in. Sweet. Yeah, one thing I gotta say about this game is the deck building is so harder. It's like harder to do now, I think, because
hmm
you gotta know how you're gonna start building your character like off the
mm
bat. Because if you just throw in cards, you may never ever use that card.
hmm
And
So, I mean, you definitely have to know the character a little more this time around because obviously before, where there was preset affinities, it was easier. Like you chose a character, they already told you, hey, these are going to be the two or one attribute that this character can use. Proceed to build a deck, and it was already kind of more or less in tune with what that character does. Where now, because you get to choose everything about the deck, you kind of have to know what you're going to do with that character. If you don't have a preconceived notion of what you're going to do with that character, then you're not really going to know what to build for yet just yet.
yeah, and you also have to know like how the character actually functions, because like
hmm
you have characters that are like basic damage focused, their range, their melee, their
hmm
ability focused, you know. And if you don't know how you're gonna build um for that character,
Hmm.
it's um it's hard to do.
Hmm.
So that's
So
one thing.
especially when it comes to characters that like require more mana than others, there's some characters who are a lot more mana based than others. So you know, if you build a deck that doesn't have mana regen or doesn't have a way to replenish that, then you're gonna find yourself very ineffective.
Yeah. Hold on, it looks like. Actually, I want to try ability burst. Um, Let me try Iggy and Scorch because I just realized we have two carries on the team
Hmm.
and an assassin, you, and then me. Okay. Yeah. So, what I did like about before the update is they had videos explaining how the characters functioned and how to build for that, a recommended build for that character. But since this update, because I think the reason they got rid of the videos is because everything is different.
Hmm.
Um, they they got rid of those. I think they should have probably kept the videos and just got rid of the end
Well,
part where it recommended it, or just say this is how it acted prior to the patch, something like
hmm
that.
well, with I believe with some of the characters they actually took out abilities altogether. Like for example, even Scorch, the character you're currently playing with, he used to have an ability where he could run away and leave an oil trail behind him, and with that oil trail, he was able to um, he could turn around, light it on fire, and it was a good way to escape. But now that ability is completely removed, so the video in itself would be obsolete just right there and then and there.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's for only like two of the characters. I would say that it really affected, but
Hmm.
yeah, I could see that. But I still think they should have added kept some of the videos until they updated them, obviously, and
Hmm.
just give a disclaimer. Hey, this is prior to the patch, so just so the people knew how that character worked or what their their function
Hmm.
was.
True, true. So. I mean, especially with a MOBA like this, where like they're constantly adding new heroes, where like the roster is just getting larger and larger, you
Yeah.
definitely need a way for your player base to know what it is that they're looking at. You know, quick and easy access. Hey, like who's a
Uh,
range character? Who's a melee character? Who's, you know, oh wow,
yeah.
looks like you're already taking quite a bit of damage there. So
Yeah.
you
I
kind
was
of
a
need a shortcut, and I don't really feel like they have something like that currently. Do they? Like, other than telling you whether a character is advanced or not, does it really say anything else about it?
yeah. No, not really. Not that I can think of. Um,
Hmm.
but they kind of give like basic stats for the character, saying, "Oh, this is
Hmm.
ability, this is the basic, etc., etc." But you know how that goes. But whatever.
Yeah.
Oh
You need to
no!
get the hell out of there.
I know I'm
Like,
retreating. I'm gonna die. Oh god. Oh god. I survived. What is
this
this new
person
ability?
barely got out of there. I had a one
Oh
shot.
crap. Oh, I think I wanna wait here to buy this card, but at the same time I don't wanna wait. It's gonna be a minute. But I get the well, let's see what other new abilities. Burning sensation.
Hmm.
Yeah, they
So,
got rid of his escape, which kind of makes me sad because like he was really good. One thing I also don't understand about this game is like with the new update how to build that character. Like before you were like, oh yeah, okay, this is definitely ability or this is definitely this.
hmm.
Oh man, we lost a person.
Did we?
Yeah, well, he said, what was I supposed to do? You kind of pushed up too far. That guy is weak if you want to do something. Alright, jump out, jump out.
I don't have my jump ability yet, but no, okay, so that was a good clean kill real fast.
Yeah. I mean, the games are definitely tougher. Give them that. Or,
So,
shorter.
but it means that because these games are much shorter, it means that you have to concentrate a lot more on what it is you're doing, especially leveling. Like, you start falling behind, and it snowballs on you really, really quickly. So, level is a big thing on this game. Once you're 2, 3 levels behind, it's really, really hard to come back from that.
Yeah, hold on. Can you watch the jungle right side? Or just in case Morgesh comes after me. Porting back.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you need to get out here.
Yeah. Ported just in time, because I saw that guy coming for me. Pretty sure.
Was he?
Yeah, that, Kalari. Wait, why is he trying to gank so early? He doesn't have the damage for it.
No, he really doesn't.
And
I mean, he's going against a level 1, but...
Yeah, but he didn't even wait for us to help him. He just said, I need help.
Yeah. So please don't be that guy when playing these kind of games. Like, don't start screaming for help when you need it. Like, you know, if you know that you're going to be in a situation that things are about to get a little hairy in, you know about that ahead of time. Don't expect the team to just show up and rescue your ass.
Yeah, because it takes quite a bit of time to travel. So
exactly.
If you're like over there, I'm not gonna like travel halfway across the map to save your ass just because you want to do. You bastard! Get out of here. No one likes you. Other thing. Yeah. You have to like wait till someone acknowledges that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna help you. Otherwise, you're pretty much just gonna feed. Take this, lady. I will eat
you got him.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, if you want, I can help you push up the lane.
Yeah. Oh no.
So,
finish that guy off. You can?
I'm gonna try to. He disappeared.
Yeah. But I'm gonna push these into the tower.
Alright, go ahead. I'm coming with you. This tower is gone.
Yeah, we only got 2. I'm out of here.
Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
I'm gonna port back for a sec.
That thing should, for the most part, be gone.
No,
I have a hard time seeing that thing coming back.
I had a good amount of.
No, but it's pretty weak though. That's the thing. And that's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one thing I don't understand too is or maybe I probably mentioned it, but I was getting attacked at the time, so I'm not too sure. Is the how to build for damage on a character, because if you build a certain way, like you build all intelligence because you know it makes sense you're a caster. Like how would you do more damage if you want to do more damage for your abilities? You know. And like this new system, from what I saw, to get basic defense, you have to have AGI stats, but that increases your damage, your power, and then your get the heck out of here. I think I bought the wrong attribute. That increases your power and your attack speed, but I'm not an attack speed based hero. So it's like, what would I do? Oh, they are hungry for my butt. They are definitely hungry for my butt. I'm gonna port back. Hopefully I don't die. I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, no Oh shit, Sherlock. I mean, there's a few cards that I saw give you power, but I mean, they barely give you any power. It's not like before where that card you equipped gave you power, and then the upgraded card gives you power. Now it's like, do I just keep building on attack for power now? You know? And that's really weird. What do you say? Hello?
Sorry, I was a little distracted. What happened?
Oh, I was saying that, man, these are so hungry for me. Oh, no! Got you! Get that fucker. Yeah. You got it. Like the power building for like ability based hero, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not in the
Yeah, I need some help in the jungle.
Oh. Okay, I'm coming. Run towards me.
Where you at? Fuck, you got me. Tell me you got him.
No, he has his second health.
Ah, damn it. Oh, that was my mistake.
Alright, that happens. But this Morgish, like, hey, this team is aggressive.
Yeah, they are. Why do we have just one person standing around doing nothing?
That's the Kalari lady that keeps yelling commands that, hey, help me.
No, the Seraph. She's level 8 and she was just standing around though.
She was probably waiting for them to come to her instead of going out there.
Gotcha.
Morgish is on the right, and I guess she's gonna come for me. So, I don't have wards, but that's what I'm assuming. There you go. Man, both those people are hungry for me. I don't know why. I'm low on mana. I need some more mana.
So I'm starting to fall behind on level again, so I need to start focusing on jungling again. Because I'm already 2 levels behind people.
I'm level 8.
Yeah, I just got up to level 7 right now.
Morgish is again trying to come after me. I don't know why she's trying so hard.
Do we have nobody right?
I thought we did. It was supposed to be our carry, but he's being chased by someone.
Yeah, well, they took our right, so...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna jump over here to left jungle. Just cause I need some more minions.
Yep. And that lady's trying to kill me again.
You sure?
Yeah. I don't know why that lady's being so aggressive to me. It's not like I did anything. I'm gonna report back. Really? Really? Okay, whatever, lady. You do you, boo boo. I'm gonna try to port back again. Or get stabbed by that lady. I'm gonna die. If Flurry
How
comes
weak are
up to
you?
me, I'm like Booker Flick. Alright, cool. I came back. I came out just in time.
One of our guys just got killed.
Yep, a Kalari.
Uh,
Just focus on leveling.
yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. It's still level 8.
Um, our guy's way up there. He's gonna get tanked. Yeah.
Okay.
The carry's coming to you.
Who?
The Twin Black.
Is he running away from somebody?
Yeah, the enemy team is after him.
Okay.
It's still over there. Looks like it's by Gold Buff. Oh, okay. Alright, hold on.
It's crazy how quickly I fell behind on level.
Mm. How weak is the guy that Twin Black is fighting?
Not very. Okay, I'm gonna have to port back because I have enough to buy that one invisibility card of mine.
Okay. I died. I got too aggressive.
Oh wow. Did we take that top left tower or no?
Yeah. Looks like it.
Okay. Oh, that's a good victory then.
I'm going to farm that green minion. Unless you're gonna farm him.
No, go ahead and farm him.
Ready? Let's see if I can get my minions to.
Who's that one guy up there that's like fighting off like 3 people?
It was the Kalari. Oh no. Looks like Tornado hit him again. Or not Tornado, not a Hurricane. Hopefully he comes back.
Allied tower is under attack.
Actually, shoot, man. Popping that one. Oh, they took on left. Dang it.
Has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your skill rises.
I forgot about that. I should probably.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy
I'm so far behind the level.
enemy inhibitor is under siege.
Ah, yeah, he's back. Sweet. Yeah, that guy.
Tower destroyed.
I finally lost my tower. Let's see. Hope he gets back into the game. We haven't lost it yet. Didn't think that was gonna happen. Let's see. Paragon is building built for health now.
The power of the orb is yours.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay, thank you. During the last match of the Force Series. Alright, well, I think that's it from my gaming today. I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah. Alright, guys. This is Ryu signing off.